Hello guys, it's Sunday, so here is your weekly dose of urban news. So hit that subscribe button so you never miss an update, and as always, a massive thanks to my awesome Patreon supporters and everyone else who keeps this going. This time we start with Seattle, where the extension of Light Rail 1 to Federal Way recently began operating. The new section is built as a viaduct and is 8 miles long with 3 new stations with park and ride facilities close by, which allows the residents of the area to travel around the region without traffic jams. Construction began in 2020 and cost $2.5 billion, which is about $194 million per kilometer. With this expansion, Line 1 is now almost 41 miles long, which makes it one of the longest in the US. Notably, this is already 5th expansion of the Sound Transit system in the last 3 years, so I think it's safe to say that it is one of the most actively developing systems in the United States. By the way, looking at these super long tram trains, I got a question. Maybe it's time to switch to something more like a real metro trains on this line. In general, Light Rail has been operating in Seattle since 2003 and now consists of 3 lines. Meanwhile, Toronto has launched the new and very long-awaited Finch West Light Rail line, which connects Humber Polytechnic with Finch West Station and the Subway Line 1 at the eastern end. The line is 10.3 kilometers long and has 18 stops, and it is the first new public transport line in Toronto since 2002. Most of the line runs on the surface with a short underground sections at the end stops. It is served by Alstom Citadis trams, which are 48.5 meters long and can carry 292 passengers. They are supposed to run every 6.5 minutes during rush hour and every 10 to 12 minutes at other times. A lot of people came to see the opening, and many of them said that they had been waiting for years for faster and more reliable transportation in the northwestern part of the city. This generally seems like a good news, but if you look closer, there are some nuances. In reviews of this event, almost everyone complains that the trams are very slow. In the first few days, it took about 50 to 55 minutes to complete the route, meaning they traveled at a very modest average speed of about 12 kilometers per hour. At the same time, some passengers said that the previous bus route on Finch Avenue was faster and had more stops along the way, which made it more convenient. It seems that one of the reasons for the low speed is that trams don't have priority at intersections and often have to wait for cars to make left turns. And this is despite the fact that the line took almost 10 years to build and cost 3.6 billion Canadian dollars. By the way, if we compare the price per kilometer, it turns out that the line in Toronto is more expensive than the project in Seattle, even though in Seattle the trams run on elevated track and in Toronto they run at ground level and stop at intersections. Although maybe tram priority will be implemented in the future. In general, this technology has been known for a long time and is used in many cities around the world. All you need to do is install sensors that will stop cars when a tram approaches an intersection and let it pass without stopping. So it's more a question of political will, I would say. And this is probably the biggest problem, because just recently in Toronto they were fighting against bike lanes because they take up space from cars and cause traffic jams. So, in short, we'll see what happens next.
A few moments later.
Say, for example, that transit signal priority comes with an increase in speed. That would cause more maintenance on the vehicles. It's going to cause a knock-on cost effect to Mosaic. So it's not that they have an ability to say no to transit signal priority, but they do need to be informed.
So now when everything is already built and the money spent, they started discussing signal priority. Nice. Another tram news came from Strasbourg, where they recently launched the extension of Line F. The new section has 8 new stations and is 4 kilometers long, running west towards Königshofen, Hachberg and Lepoti, as well as the towns of Egbolsheim and Wolfisheim. According to estimates, the new section will serve 20,000 residents and 7,000 workers within 500 meters of the stations. Construction lasted for 2 years and cost a total of 122 million euros, which is 30.5 million euros per kilometer. Notably, some local business owners, just like in Toronto, are concerned about losing customers who used to drive to their locations by car, but will not switch to the tram and will no longer visit them due to the reduced number of parking spaces. However, other businessmen say that they have bought cargo bikes, which now allow them to save on petrol, car insurance, parking and fines. Meanwhile, Krakow is expanding its fleet of high-capacity trams. The city transport company has signed a contract with PASA Bydgoszcz for the delivery of 20 new low-floor trams over 43 meters long. The contract is priced at 109 million euros or 5.45 million euros per tram, with the delivery scheduled for the period from the third quarter of 2028 to mid-2029. It means that in the future, Krakow will operate a total of 57 of the longest trams in Poland. New cars will replace the last 3 wagon trains made of Constal cars, as well as some of the former E1 series from Vienna. They will be fully low-floor and equipped with air conditioning and defibrillators. One tram will be additionally equipped with batteries that allow it to travel without a contact network for a distance of about 3 kilometers, and this is the first such opportunity for cars of this length in Poland. By the way, I wonder why only one. In the coming years, the city is planning to purchase up to 40 new trams, including 10 more 43-meter cars and 30 cars about 33 meters long. Škoda has officially unveiled the first modernized M31 tram in Gothenburg. It has already been certified, so the local public transport operator is now introducing it into regular service, while more trams are being refurbished at the factory in Ostrava. The contract provides for the comprehensive modernization of 79 M31 trams manufactured in the 1980s, with the aim of extending their service life by at least 15 years, as well as significantly improving comfort, reliability, and working conditions for both passengers and drivers. These trams were originally built for Gothenburg as the M21 series by the Swedish company ASEA between 1984 and 1992. Between 1998 and 2002, they were extended with a low-floor section in the middle and underwent the major overhaul by the Czech companies Cegelec Praha and Evoca. Meanwhile, in the Ukrainian city of Fastiv, which is close to Kyiv, the train station was destroyed by a Russian missile attack. The neighboring locomotive depot was also damaged. Luckily, the station workers weren't hurt because they were in a shelter. This building was built in 2011 and was already the third station building on this spot. The first station in the city was built in the 1870s, but it was severely damaged during World War II, so in the 1950s a new building was constructed on its place, which was demolished in 2011. The city mayor has already announced that the remains of the station will be dismantled, and until a new one is built, a temporary modular structure will be used instead. The public is expected to be involved in the design of the new station, and some are suggesting that the historic building should be restored. And the Argentine capital Buenos Aires is modernizing its BRT system and plans to use electric buses on it. In fact, the city already has some bus lines with dedicated lanes. 10 routes belong to the so-called Metrobus network. Meanwhile, the new electric bus system will be called Tram bus. Yep, again, buses that try to look like trams. The first pilot phase is just beginning. 5 electric buses are running on a 12-kilometer section along Avenida Juan B. Justo. And the first regular line, number 21, is scheduled to start operating by the end of 2026 and will run from Nueva Pompeia to Aeroparque, passing through the Palermo and Caballito districts. Dedicated lanes are expected to reduce travel time by about 40% compared to current bus services on the same route. The second line, T2, is scheduled to start operating in 2027, with other lines to follow later. For the first two lines, there are plans to purchase 40 standard buses, 15 articulated ones, and 40 charging stations from Argentine manufacturer Todo Bus, with chassis and electric equipment from Brazilian group Agrale. The city has currently received 5 buses, which are undergoing testing and have already attracted attention thanks to their unusual design. And that's all the news for this time. The links to the news sources, as usual, are in the video description. So thanks for watching and see you in the next